My friends, you're going to be watching today's video and thinking that this is an amazing computer that we're going to be building today. I'm giving away spoilers before you've even watched it, but we're actually going to be giving away this very PC here to somebody in person at the University of Florida next week. So if you want to join and enter into that, please join us at the University of Florida right after period 5 ends, which would be about 12:35 at Turlington Plaza. We're going to be giving away this computer in exchange for your console. If you have an Xbox One, any version of that, a PlayStation 4, any version of that, or a Nintendo Switch, and you want to trade in for a beastly gaming PC, meet us at Turlington next week, 12:35. We'll see you there March 4th. Hey friends, Xbox just actually officially announced what their next generation Xbox Series X is going to be capable of. So today, thanks to our friends over at NZXT who sent over their brand new H1 case, we're going to be building the best recreated attempt that we can get at the Xbox Series X, because when they showed this off to me at Computex, yes, they showed this off to me in June, I was like, wow, that's an impressive mini ITX case. And then when Xbox decided to just announce their new console at the Game Awards, I was just like, wow, that looks exactly like the case that NZXT showed me. But I wasn't allowed to talk about it because the embargo didn't lift until today. But now you get to see us build what is probably going to be the closest PC we can get to the Series X until it comes out. However, one of the things, like this card that just fell, is that the Series X has now been confirmed to have a 12 teraflop computing performance, which is just absolutely insane. And I'm going to talk to you about why that's so ridiculous after I tell you about today's video sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Synergy. You don't want to be like me before Synergy, where I had to benchmark and use a computer at the same time. These are two different computers with two different mouse and keyboard. This is ridiculous. This is a horrible desk setup. With Synergy, I can absolutely get rid of that second set of mouse and keyboard because I can just use their program to control both the gaming computer and my computer at the same time. It absolutely saves me so much hassle. I can then have a clean desk setup with one setup and then control both of the computers. You see this one right here, there's another boy right behind there. I got both computers going in one setup. You use that with Mac, Windows, Linux, whatever have you. You can use it with Synergy. You can check them out so you control multiple computers at once. Use our link in the video description to get it set up. $29 for their basic program. You don't have to pay a monthly subscription, and $39 for the pro version, which includes SSL encryption over the network. Control multiple devices at once. Don't be like me before Synergy, where I had to control multiple computers with two different mice and keyboard. Ridiculous. Don't be that person. Okay, so the Xbox One X is supposed to have a 12 teraflop GPU performance setup, which is crazy because the original plan for this build was supposed to be using the RX 5700 XT, which only has 9.75 teraflops. And even the RTX 2080 Super, which won't fit in this case because it's a triple slot, is 11.2 teraflops. So the Xbox Series X is getting up to RTX 2080 Ti level territory without breaking the price point of like $500 to $600 for the console. That makes no sense to me. Let's price out the build that we have right here. So the new NZXT H1 case with a 140mm AIO, which they include, as well as a 650 watt power supply, which is also included, comes out to $350, which isn't terrible considering the value that you're getting with the AIO and the power supply and a great mini ITX chassis. Then on top of that, we have the ITX motherboard right here, which we're going with the Aorus X570i Pro Wi-Fi. This costs $220. Then, in order to get the CPU that the Xbox Series X is supposed to be using, we went with the Ryzen 7 3700X. This is 8 cores, 16 threads, based on Zen 2, and this comes in at around $310 right now over on Amazon. Then we have 16 gigabytes of the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro rated at 3200 megahertz. This goes for about $100 right now. Then you add on top of that a PCI Express 4.0 drive, which is the MP600, 1 terabyte. Then we're looking at $215 for this, and then to round it all out is the $400 5700 XT. If we wanted to put a more comparable GPU like the 2080 Super, this is looking to be about $800. So the total cost of this system right here, the way I plan to build it with the 5700 XT, is $1,600. I have no idea how Microsoft is going to sell this console at a price that's going to be reasonable, considering a comparable PC is insanely expensive. So let's just do a thought experiment quickly. Let's say that the case just knocked that out altogether. $350, that's the steel fabrication for Microsoft. They're gonna have all of that vertically integrated. So let's say that costs $0. Then let's drop the X570 board down to a B450. We save about $100 there. Then let's say that they're not gonna use an SSD that's as fast as a PCI Express 4.01 and rather is right around like an Intel 660p. Well, to get 1 terabyte terabyte of a 660p, we're looking at about $100, which is about $115 off of this SSD price. So if we remove the case and we strip down some of the parts, but we include the parts that are confirmed by Microsoft, we've only saved like $600. That's still a $1,000 computer that's coming out at a console level. This is absolutely mind-boggling to me. I'm not sure how Microsoft is actually going to pull this off. They probably have to sell it at a loss. They've confirmed that the GPU is actually going to be based on RDNA 2, which this one's only RDNA 1. So I don't know what Microsoft's doing. I don't know how it's going to be cheap, but we're going to build the best Microsoft Xbox Series X that we can possibly build right now. So let's go ahead and do that. This is my first time building in the H1. Let's go ahead and rip this puppy apart. So one of the great things is that it's supposed to be super easy to build in. You just take off the side panels like that. I'll just chuck the tempered glass on the ground, it's cool. And then that puppy slides off. So all of that comes apart quite easily. So under this little puppy, you can see that there's the 140mm radiator, as well as the AIO that goes into this thing. This all just like comes out right here. It's pretty good to be included. Then you have the fully modular 650 watt right there. It says lift here to release. There we go, that came out. Did they include screws? I need screws to be able to install this puppy. Found the box. I left it on the floor somewhere. Okay, let's get into this. Let's start. Go. Bye. You go in there. Done with you. I hate you. You were never born. Get out here. CPU. Done. Oh, that's cool. They include the springs on the screws. Screw-in springs. Squaw. All right, that's done. Now we need to install the RAM. All right, now I can put my SSD. Where does that throw the SSD? Where is it? There it is. Okay, I found it. Hello. Can I even keep that on there? No, there's not enough clearance. So I'm gonna have to take the heatsink off, but that's okay. Crap. Film how ridiculous it is that I threw the expensive SSD on the floor. I'll take that back, please. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully it works and the SSD doesn't overheat. It's too powerful for this build anyways. The Xbox Series X is only supposed to have like 2 gigabytes per second. We don't need the 4 to 5 that this thing has. Okay, so there I have the 24 pin and the CPU routed for us. So I think this is the orientation that they want us to go in. 4 motherboard screws. Count them, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, magnetism, work. Do your thing. The RAM's in. So this is making this. There we go. 24 pin, get in there. This top-down setup is really nice for mini ITX builds. I like this. Motherboard, why do you have to be over there? I don't like this. Does this boy just slide off? Yes, yes it does. And then this boy just slides on. There we go. That's not bad. And then there's already thermal paste mounted on this, so we're good there. Handy little sign right here, position tubes outwards before closing. But this thing is basically built. Position them outwards and then try to flarf it down. Can it take a triple slot GPU? Because if it can, we're gonna use the 2080 Super because that's much more close. Because the Xbox Series X is also gonna have ray tracing, which is one of the weird things, again, that I don't understand about how Microsoft's doing things. The card that they're using doesn't exist yet. AMD hasn't officially announced RDNA 2. They haven't announced ray tracing on their cards. If they're using an AMD GPU that's about 33% more powerful than this and also has ray tracing, they're using some space age wizardry that we just don't know about yet. I don't think this case can handle a triple slot. Indeed, it cannot. Nope. Okay, that's my arrogance. I could go get a dual slot 2080 Super, but I think it illustrates the point a little bit better to use the best AMD GPU, gaming GPU that's out on the market right now and still not be able to hit what Microsoft says is going to exist in just a few months before the holidays. So one of the cool things that NZXT designed is that this is the way that it vertically goes. And all of the cables and the power come out down at the bottom. You see the power supply has an extension right here. Everything runs down there. Then you have the motherboard and the GPU run all out the bottom. And then you have this slot right here for all of your cables. So you can hide all of your cables in this thing. The only thing that it's missing over the Xbox Series X, besides ray tracing and all of the extra GPU horsepower, is also a disk slot, because who in PC uses disks at this point? I don't know. But this puppy just slides right back on. This is actually a super simple build. And one of the advantages this PC has over the Xbox Series X is tempered glass. You're not gonna get this on your Series X, are you? PC built. Which, I mean, the tempered glass only allows you to look in at a mess of cables, but there you go. Gorgeous, right? Everything's Everything's set up the way it's supposed to be. So we'll benchmark this thing. We're gonna test it out. But I wanna remind you that we are giving this away on campus next week at the University of Florida. So be sure to show up for that. You'll find out the rules and regulations, but you'll be able to win this. You'll be able to win the fastest console. That's out right now because this is faster than the Xbox One X. It's not quite Series X. Shut up. PC set up, we got all the benchmarking done. This thing can run like 60 to 80 FPS at 1440p, easily gonna be able to hit 120 FPS at 1080p. Imagine what a console that is like 33% more powerful is gonna be able to do. It's gonna be amazing. Benchmarks are on the screen for you to enjoy. This thing performs well. Obviously not as well as Microsoft is saying the Xbox Series X is going to perform, but I'm super happy with the NZXT H1 case. The only issue we really had with it was that I used a reference card in this, and those things just get hot and loud. And there's also the fact that I forgot to switch the power on with the power supply, but thanks to the way the NZXT designed this case, you just pop it on and you flip the switch right there. It's that simple. It's just push pins. This thing comes apart and can be manipulated so easily. The build in this H1 case was super easy. Catlin, what, it took us 45 minutes to build this PC? It was nothing, just to get everything set up. And that's with me being an idiot and forgetting boxes in different places, not knowing what I was doing. Your boy, being dumb, can build this PC in 45 minutes. If you guys pick up an H1, you could have an Xbox Series X look-alike, but then also have a super easy build setup. Now, this is a little bit bigger than the Xbox Series X. You see the official size specs on the screen right now. It is slightly taller and slightly wider, but you also got a lot of good hardware in here, and it's upgradable, which the Series X won't be. But I said this in the hot news episode that we recorded today. I really highly doubt the Series X is gonna come in at a $500-600 price point. I mean, considering the specs that we have in here right now, this is a $1,600 computer. You take out several parts and you're still looking at $1,000. I'm not sure how Microsoft is gonna get something more powerful than this at a price point that's even less than this by about $1,000. I don't see that happening, but maybe it's because I'm naive and I don't see what AMD has for the future. Anyways, what do you guys think about the Xbox Series X build? Don't forget, that we're gonna be giving this away next week at the University of Florida. Come meet us in Turlington Plaza. I like it. I also wish that NZXT would have not gone with tempered glass here and that they just made another mesh on this side, because it's just a mess of cables. All you really see is that freaking Radeon logo. If your GPU is beautiful, maybe the tempered glass works, but for this build, like having another mesh panel on this side would have worked just as well, and then you probably would have gotten some better airflow and better temperatures. So that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And again, big thanks to Synergy for sponsoring today's video. No mouse and keyboard duality going on, no KVM switch, just simplicity in your life, my friends. Simple, good looking, single mouse and keyboard setup for multiple devices. Use the link in the video description to check them out. And that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up. We're gonna give this puppy away. Bye-bye, computer. It was great knowing you. You're gonna go to some console peasant. Don't fall. I don't want you down there. Ah! We're good. Ow.